loving these videos. Please keep them coming. Spending the season watching at home means we're all in this together. You've got a home field advantage. Tweet us a photo or a video at GMFB, please, on Twitter or Instagram, really. Use the hashtag GMFB Home Field Advantage. Show us how you cheer on the Chiefs and the Buccaneers leading up to Super Bowl Sunday. You could see yourself on the show. And we'll keep putting this on the show as long as you guys keep sending in the goods, the videos, the photos, what have you.
Tyler, right? I was just
yeah, how cute is
badass
he?
kid, looks like the Hulk.
Yeah! Speaking of Scotty Miller there, that's what he was reacting to. What an incredible performance, really, at being clutch all season long. And he joined the Dan Patrick Show just yesterday, and he was asked to compare his speed to the man called Cheetah.
How would you do if you and Tyreek Hill lined up?
Oh, I'm taking me every day of the week. I'll take me over anybody. Tyreek is unbelievable, super quick, unbelievable talent. But if we're talking about race, I mean, I got all the confidence in myself against going up against anybody.
Wait, you think you're the fastest guy in the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Wow, Dan.
Dan's laughing. Kyle, time for a little believe it or not.
Patrick laughing in his face.
I know, it was a really serious, genuine chuckle with that claim. All right, so believe it or not, Scotty Miller is the fastest player in the NFL.
Okay, Dan Patrick on Peacock Network. Peacocks, they strut their feathers, right?
Yes, they do.
They strut their feathers. And that's what Scotty was doing.
Yeah.
Listen, if you feel like you're the fastest dude, I don't blame you. And to be honest, if a football player genuinely says he's faster than somebody with a straight face, which Scotty did, I'm going to believe him. Until I see an old school foot race, I'll say right now that Scotty Miller is faster than Tyreek Hill. Okay, Tyreek Hill scares people. He runs past everybody in the league, but so does Scotty Miller. Name a time where he hasn't ran past somebody, or name a time where he's been ran down. So I'm going to say yeah for right now.
I'm going to double down. I believe it also.
Peter.
Yeah, I believe it. So when he signed with Tampa, everyone was like, oh, he's the new Adam Humphries role, a little white receiver. We're going to put him in the slot. There he is. And I had a guy in Tampa be like, he's actually the Deshaun Jackson role. Like, that's how we're using him. He's not a little slot receiver.
No, I think you mean Kevin Curtis.
Kevin Curtis, exactly. But this is a kid who's wired differently. I remember talking to the Buccaneers guys earlier season. They're like, do you know about his phone screensaver? I'm like, no, I don't know about Scotty Miller's
What is it?
phone screensaver. He was voted second team all MAC conference at Bowling Green. So his screensaver were the 4 first-team wide receivers.
My kind of guy.
And he like walks around with it.
Oh, Brady loves that.
These are the guys. These are the
motivation.
ones. This is my motivation. I laugh at it. I mock it. He thinks he's the fastest. I'm not doubting Scotty Miller. He's not the Adam Humphries, Julian Edelman slot receiver role. He's a Deshaun Jackson.
Shrigs.
Tyreek Hill.
Maybe it's Tim Dwight.
Okay, you keep on just naming fast white guys.
No, not just fast. I don't see color, Peter. Tim Dwight is a hurdler in the state of Iowa. I'm here for someone saying something like this before the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
That doesn't happen. Now, I mean, it's not quite Ray Buchanan saying Shannon Sharp is Mr. Ed. Like, we haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
But it's a warm-up, and we got a long way to go. Here's what I'm not here for. I'm not here for this. How could you possibly say you're faster than Tyreek Hill? Tyreek Hill is a human being. Like, he can be run down. There are faster people than him in the world. And what I'm ultimately here for is if Scotty Miller is this cool of a guy and this big of a I don't give a bleep, if he scores a touchdown in the Super Bowl, I want the deuces up. I want the deuces up as he runs by the safety. If you're faster, prove it and do the Tyreek, because he might be right. Yeah.
I think when players say this, it automatically needs to, it enters you into a foot race with that player. Like if you're going to say this, Nate, then you're saying you won't know until there's a foot race. They should be locked in. It's happening after the season, no matter who wins the Super Bowl.
That's a fact.
I want to see it.
And Tyreek Hill's up for it. He raced to Owens.
This is when we need the Spike Network.
With the head start.
Right after the show, Mansers. That's what we need. They had a show called Mansers.
Impromptu trivia for you guys.
What do you got?
Next Gen Stats did work on the fastest plays, which tell us our fastest player. I'd like you guys to guess who the fastest player was all season long. This, of course, according to top speed per hour with plays on the field. Any guesses?
Yeah. What do you got, Peter?
I want to guess the DK Metcalf chase of Buda Baker. I feel like he was at an incredible
Great guess.
I think it's a play we don't remember. I think it's Matt Breida, who also tries to go by the cheetah and is incredible.
Good guess.
I'm going with Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. For what it's worth, according to Next Gen Stats, the fastest player in the NFL this year was Raheem Mostert. You guys, the two fastest plays, topping over 23 miles per hour per each. Pretty incredible.
I never would have guessed that.
Fastest kid alive, as they say in Superbad. Okay, switching gears now to the Jets, gentlemen. They have a new head coach in Robert Saleh. Our very own Jim Trotter and Steve Weish interviewed him on their Huddle and Flow podcast, which is a great listen, and I encourage everyone to download and subscribe to that one. And they asked him how he believes QB Sam Darnold is going to fit in the system.
So just from a mobility standpoint, you know, to be able to create off schedule the way he does, he'd probably be one of the better ones that the system's ever had. A lot of the, you know, traditionally you see Aaron Rodgers, you see who's having a renaissance, Matt Ryan's best years, even Jimmy at San Francisco, Jared Goff, Tannehill. They're not they fit into a mold, but Sam's got the ability to create off schedule. Again, his arm talent on the run is up there with the best of them. And so he's got a tremendous talent to him, and he would definitely fit because of his ability to process information and get the ball in and out of his hands in a timely manner, and that at the velocity and the accuracy at which he's able to do it.
It's a beautiful listen, this podcast. I think all of us on the show would agree. You can hear the full episode of that and all the other Huddle and Flow podcasts hosted by Steve Weish and Jim Trotter. You can find them really anywhere, Spotify or Apple, your favorite podcast provider. So go do that. Now, to get to Saleh here, he's voicing his confidence in his young quarterback. But believe it or not, and Trace, you talked about your intrigue with him yesterday. Sam Darnold will be the Jets' starting quarterback in 2021.
Can I take the fifth and say I don't have an answer on what I believe? I believe he's got a shot, and I believe Saleh is saying all the right things, but I think it's too early in the process. I think there's a whole pre-draft process, and this is a wild free agency year where you're going to see names on the market that are not typically names on the market in football. If Deshaun Watson's available, are you really saying Sam Darnold's our guy? If Matt Stafford's available, are you sniffing around on that? Like, you mentioned Zach Wilson and a Josh Fields and so many other college quarterbacks. I'm going to say I will not be shocked if I see Sam Darnold week 1, but I will not be shocked if I don't see Sam Darnold week 1. So my don't believe it is that Saleh has made a decision and that it is firm that Darnold is their guy.
This is the second day in a row Peter's elected not to give an
Scintillating
answer.
takes.
Yeah.
Yesterday he didn't say, Whiteboard Wednesday, no answer.
You understand, with the Jets media, if I come out and say, Darnold's not the quarterback, it's a story. If I say Darnold is the quarterback, it's a story. Okay. I'm telling you honestly, I don't know. I've learned.
Peter,
I've learned.
Okay. Difference maker. I get it.
That's his superstition.
I think they're done. I think Darnold's off. I don't give a damn. Run with that.
Come on, post.
Yeah, go ahead. Big font me anything. It's hard to imagine in this era of football going through 12 games and having 9 touchdown passes. Like, that's what Sam Darnold did. Like, and some of it, I think, benefits that everyone's just trashes Gase. They don't actually look at Darnold. I don't think he's played terribly well. And for Robert Saleh to come in and be like, I've worked my whole life to be a head coach. I may never get this opportunity again. I'm going to go with Sam Darnold. Yes. I don't think I'm going to. And so those Jets fans who are Sam Darnold's apologists and Sam Darnold loyalists, they've been doing that for 2 years. And then the second it was maybe Deshaun Watson, like, oh, never mind Sam. And I think the Jets maybe feel the same way.
Get you a quarterback that you're absolutely in love with. Exhaust yourself trying to find the best quarterback is what you're saying. If you're lukewarm on Sam Darnold, then
that ain't it.
That ain't it. I agree, Kyle. I agree. I don't believe that Sam Darnold is going to be the quarterback for the Jets. I always feel like if a quarterback is trying to prove himself to an organization, you don't leave the door cracked. You don't leave it slightly open. You slam the damn door. And you convince the head coaches. I mean, you convince the coaches, you convince the players, the organization, and the fan base that you're the guy for the job. He left this door wide open for us to criticize, to talk about him. And I'll say this as well, though. Wherever he goes, though, you're going to see a different Sam Darnold.
Well, why can't that be in New York?
They don't have what it takes to build around him right now. And I think that it's going to take some time for Saleh. And I feel like if he's going to start this job the way he wants to, get a great quarterback, then build around him. Or the best quarterback available, build around him. Sam Darnold is going to go somewhere, and he's going to shock everybody how well he plays.
As a starting quarterback somewhere else?
As a starting quarterback. He's going to have to earn a starting spot, but you'll be surprised how well he looks, how good he looks with good talent around him.
So
he didn't have that.
So he has what it takes. It's the support on the team that's the problem.
I do believe so.
You going to go full Tannehill? Another post-Gase guy?
I would hope so.
I believe he showed enough to prove that he is a good quarterback.
But you're right, the post-Gase thing. So Tannehill emerged once he got out of Gase's web, right? And Tannehill was maybe that's Darnold. Maybe Mike LaFleur is a new coach. That's why the Jets are not saying we're going to move on. And it's not the same thing as you're seeing in other cities where it's like, we need to find a quarterback. I think the issue is almost addition by subtraction. Like, here we go. We've got a new coaching staff, new people, new voice, new energy. Maybe that's better for Sam.
And it's who else is available on the market. Like you said, like it's Stafford and everybody. To get this straight, though, he's under contract for 1 more year, right? But they do have to decide this offseason whether or not they pick up his option.
Yep.
For the 5th year.
For the 5th year next year.
Got it. And do you have any insight into what that, especially given this crazy time, like what does that evaluation process look like? If you're Salah and you want to get to know Sam, to make that decision, how does that?
Tape, and knowing what you know and what you know that Shanahan offense needs. Can this young man operate in that offense, which is a lot of mobility and a lot of waggle, and it's trying to figure out timing.